Estamos en vivo, estamos en vivo. Eso. All right.
What up, Pedro the Fox?
Hey, ¿qué onda? Bueno, gracias. Aquí estamos, estoy listo. Tengo mi tequila, because it's going to be ugly and I need to dull the pain. I'm excited. Vanessa, ¿qué onda? Amanda, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo estamos? Aquí estamos. Why are we here again? Why are we doing this? ¿Qué está pasando?
Yeah, I'm drinking some. It's kind of like a hard kombucha seltzer thing.
You're gonna need all of it. What are we predicting tonight? Wait, who are we? ¿Quién somos? Yo soy Jero, soy un Firefox, vengo de Aztlán, ahí vivo en los nopales, tomo mi tequila. ¿Qué onda todos? ¿Quién sabe? Who else is here? Amanda's here, Vanessa's here. Who are you all? Why are you here? What's going on?
Hola, soy Vanessa, she, her, ella. I'm a Mi Gente member in Boston, and I am here, just trying to kind of stay motivated and remember what's on the line for this upcoming election. I think Pence is about to show his ass. So ready to see that. I'm ready to see Kamala go prosecutor on him.
Yes.
I think we're gonna get some. I mean, I was just like, I would have thought it would have been great to see her debate Trump in that. Remember, like when he was like following Hillary Clinton around the stage.
That loco, he's crazy. I remember, and I want to give a shout out.
Yeah. Well, the first time I saw her speak, I was just like, man, I dare him to follow her around the stage. I would love to see that, but she probably would be like, get the F away from me, fool.
We got Erica Gonzalez diciendo hola, Rita Flores, Marco Hernández, Johnny Scott. ¿Qué onda, familia? Do y'all know these folks? Do you know Rita, Marcos, Johnny? Are they Mi Gente members? Alisa, what? Like, yo, what's up, Alisa? Felicidades to Alisa on her new role. I got a reply to your email. Dali Gom. Do we know Dali Gom? Katie was here last time. Repeat guest. ¿Qué onda, Katie?
So should I share this I can share this on my Facebook too.
Eso, hazlo. Say hello to the people.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I was just going to say also, y'all, feel free to drop in the comments, what you're looking forward to seeing tonight. At this debate, drop where you're watching from. If you're a Mi Gente member, if you're joining one of the caravanas that we have going, are you going to Arizona? Are you going to Florida to knock doors? Tell us what you're joining for tonight, what you're looking forward to. And if you have any special requests of like animals for Hedo to turn into or silly graphic overlays for me to put on the screen, let us know in the comments.
Vamos. Corina saying what's up. There it is. Vanessa, you see what Corina said? What did Corina say? What's up, Corina?
Hold on, I don't have my window open.
All good. We got more people. We have, the beautiful name, El Vapiola V. Ruiz, Berma Ramos. ¿Qué onda, mi gente? Aquí estamos esperando. Hola, compas. That's right.
Hola, compas.
And Priscilla Gonzalez is watching us on Twitter. Tanya Unzwen. Did you know Tanya was on PBS? She's like the CEO of PBS. She invented that shit. I did not know this. She invented Sesame Street when she was only 3 years old. It's a true story. Ay, Dios mío. That's on you, Vanessa. Tanya, when she was a little girl, she was Cookie Monster. She did the Cookie Monster. True story, es verdad. I wouldn't lie to you. Maria Gomez está mirando. ¿Qué onda, Maria? Alexandra, Maria Lander in Durham, y'all. We got Poder, North Carolina action aquí.
Hey, y'all. Also, Jonathan said, unfortunately, he expects entertainment tonight, not any policy or substance.
Good.
I'll try.
I don't think I'm talking about us. I think
I'm much more funny in person than I am over on the internet. But I'll try to be funny.
Vanessa, since you're out, maybe we can settle this feud. Is the Boston Mi Gente crew the top crew in the United States, or is it Chicago?
I mean, I think if you look at it proportion to size, you know, Chicago's huge, and Boston is a much smaller city. But I would say, in that case, we have the most amount of members.
So, ooh, we're getting ready. There's the white lady. Whenever you see the white lady, you know
But
you're starting.
I love Chicago. Hopefully one day I'll be able to kick it with the Chicago Mi Gente folks. Oh, are we starting?
Bye, vamos. Come on, white lady. If you see a brown person, you have to take 2 drinks.
Today, it is my honor to moderate this debate, an important part of our democracy. In Kingsbury Hall tonight, we have a small and
Corina
socially
de
distant
Chicago.
audience, and we've taken extra
Corina's throwing
precautions
love to
during the
Boston.
pandemic.
Big ups to Boston has
Among
been
other
throwing
things,
down.
everyone in the
Eso,
audience is
solid. I'm trying to start a
required to
fight.
wear
Y'all
a
are
mask,
hugging
and
each other.
candidates will be seated 12 feet
Yeah.
apart.
Hugs
The audience
to
is
Chi-Town and
enthusiastic about
Corina.
Eso.
They've
Jules
agreed to
Perez,
express that
¿qué onda?
enthusiasm
Cristina
in
Salazar Campos, where y'all coming in from? Let us know. Let us know. Put in the chat.
tonight
Give
when
us
we
some
do
fireworks. Let us know where you're watching from.
welcome California Senator Kamala Harris.
Ahí
and
está.
Vice
Ey, 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 ey. Eso. Ahí está.
Let's look at the shoes. What shoes is she wearing? We all want to know.
Eso.
Oh, she went for the kitten heel. She did not go for the check.
Ooh, está bueno, está bueno. I thought Pence wasn't allowed to be with women by himself. Didn't he need his mother there with him? That's a true story.
Yeah, his wife, who he calls mother.
Ay, Dios mío.
Senator
Look what,
Harris and Vice
is this
President
Amanda? Look what mi gente is saying. Beautiful things. Mi gente is saying no matter where you are at, you can sign up to make calls and send texts at FUERATrump.com. Thank you for coming. FUERATrump.com.
Absolutely. You can actually even text while watching the
for
show.
the recovery of everyone afflicted by the coronavirus.
Oh, I think I need my tequila ready.
Oh, the plexiglass. I thought it was going to be like
I'm here in force.
Well, I heard that Pence didn't want any glass
watching.
because
One note,
he's part of that suicide cult.
Or at the commission.
Oh, Copal, Minnesota. Talking about suicide cults ahorita.
I read that, Vanessa, that they didn't want any divider at all.
Ay, Dios.
Yeah, he didn't.
I'll begin a
Estela
And then when he
Lopez.
saw it, he's like,
¿Qué
okay,
onda?
this is small enough.
Sometimes the same question, sometimes a different question on the same.
He's a cochino.
We will then have 2 minutes to answer without interruption.
He just looks like a smug cabron.
Then we'll take 6 minutes or so.
Amanda Mendez. ¿Qué onda, Amanda Mendez? We have an Amanda Chavez Barnes. Tocaya. Ahí está. Sylvia Hernandez. Hola, Sylvia. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué? Jonathan Rodriguez. You should be on the show, brother. You got so many comments. Can we bring Jonathan on? He's commenting. He's free. We know you're free. Come on in.
Jonathan, join the party.
Wants to raise the volume of the stream. He wants to actually listen to the debate. You might be in the wrong place if you want to listen to the debate. But we'll see what we can do.
Our country so much.
Ooh, Batista Cristina. Moderator says she's gonna endorse. That's right, Batista. Daniel Toro, Valerie Mendez. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
Than in the week before. 9 states have set new records. Even if a vaccine is released soon, the next administration will face hard choices.
Jonathan's gonna do it. I think we can convince him to come on. Jonathan, you're not that tired. You got this, brother. Andale. Come on in. You can do this. Familia,
get your political commentator on.
Come on, just come in for 5 minutes, Jonathan. 5 minutes. Ándale. 5 minutos. Oh, here's the answer. Let's listen.
The greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country. And here are the facts. 210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed. We're looking at frontline workers who have been treated like sacrificial workers. We are looking at over 30 million people who in the last several months had to file for unemployment. And here's the thing. On January 28th, the vice president and the president were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They were informed that it's lethal in consequence, that it is airborne.
Erica Gonzalez says,
will
ooh,
affect
her
young
hair
people.
looking so good. And Daniel de
And
Toro
that
dice,
it would
¿Cómo es que
happen
Donald
because
Trump
it is
is not
airborne.
on quarantine? Because he's a
They
cabrón, Daniel.
knew
He's
what
a
was
cabrón.
happening, and they didn't tell you.
Remember
Benitez.
that.
Imagine if you knew on
Remember,
January
the most
28th,
controversial
as
thing
opposed to
Obama
March
ever said was
13th,
that she was
that
the
they
best
knew
looking
what we might
attorney
have done to
general in the
here.
country.
They knew, and they covered
Eso,
it.
Escándalo.
The president said it was a
escándalo.
hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. The president said, you're
And
on
Black
one
and
side of the
Latinx folks are
ledger if
getting
you wear a
killed by
mask,
COVID.
you're on
And
the
these
other side of the
motherfuckers don't
ledger
care.
if you don't.
Dele. T.
And
Alvarez, Edith. She
despite
should come
all
on the
of that,
show. She got
they
some knowledge.
still
Dropping
don't have
specific
a
dates.
plan.
T. Alvarez, you want me hit the member? Let's
Still
sign you
don't
up.
have a
Shit.
plan. Well, Joe Biden does. And our plan is about what we need to do around a national strategy.
True. Amanda breaking the
Contact
knowledge.
tracing,
Not a
testing,
single interruption. ¿Qué está
administration
pasando?
of the vaccine, and making sure that it will be free for all. That is the plan that Joe Biden has and that I have, knowing that we have to get a hold of what has been going on, and we need to save our country. And Joe Biden is the best leader to do that. And frankly, this administration.
Oh, Jonathan's down. Amanda, send him the
They're
link.
right to
Jonathan está
election
listo.
on this.
See, he says send the link.
Vice President
Jonathan,
Pence, more than
Jonathan,
10,000
Jonathan.
have died of COVID-19 since February.
It's a party.
U.S. death
Puro
toll as a
party.
percentage of our population, it's
Ooh,
higher than that
este
of almost every
pendejo.
other
Pence
wealthy
dejo,
nation
Pence
on Earth.
dejo, Pence
For
dejo.
instance, our death rate is 2.5 times.
I don't know if that's going to catch on.
You head the
pero
administration's
I
coronavirus.
know.
it's a little awkward to say. It doesn't
Why
flow off
is
the tongue
US
like
death toll
pendejo.
as a percentage of our population higher than that of almost every other wealthy country? And you have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Susan, thank you. And I want to thank the Commission and the University of Utah for hosting this event. And
Dang it, they changed where his face is positioned, so I'm gonna have to update my tapa de la boca mask.
Hey,
But I want the American people to know that from the very
Corina is
first
calling him El Cucuy. On Twitter, we have Priscilla Gonzalez saying, the only people who
Ronald
debate me is
Reagan
election.
wannabe.
cases in the United States,
Music
all
to my
people who have
ears.
returned from
Hola,
China,
Priscilla. Sí, we don't
President
need
Donald
any more of
Trump did
these
what no
caca
other
debates.
American president had ever done.
T.
That was to
Alvarez Edith,
suspend
it's our
all travel from China, the
best
second largest
commenter.
economy in the world. Now, Senator Joe Biden opposed that decision. He said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the White House Coronavirus Task Force, that that decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time to stand up.
How can he admit leading the task force when 200,000 people have died and millions are unemployed?
Saved hundreds of thousands of American lives.
Didn't mi gente rock some rapid response right after, Amanda? Didn't mi gente really get into action? I know Nadia Dominguez was involved and Nalini Stamp, I think.
Billions of
Yeah, no, of course, like the coronavirus has really disproportionately impacted our gente, as we know, Black and brown folks, Latinx folks, disproportionately essential workers, don't have access to healthcare, covering for unemployment, and so it's decimated our communities. And then you see full like Trump, who's just been playing with everybody's lives. Basically, they're super spreaders getting the best healthcare on the taxpayer dime while paying no taxes.
Ooh, eso, put Amanda on the debate stage. She's ready.
Quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about
Patricia Torres, Megan Sullivan, welcome. Come into our casita.
It looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about. And I think the American people know that this is a president who has put the health of America first, and the American people, I believe with my heart, can be proud of the sacrifices they have made.
I knew they were going to do this. They're trying to say that the Democrats would handle this the same exact way. That's not true.
Clearly, it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000 dead bodies in our country, American lives that have been lost, families that are grieving that loss. And the vice president is the head of the task force and knew on January 28th how serious this was. And then
Ana Rios, Sarah Cipher, ¿qué onda? Jamie Johnson, Mari, Ella Gomez Leon, where are you all at? Where are you watching? You mi gente members, let us know in the comments.
Why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because
¿Qué piensan? What do you think of Pence so far?
Remain calm.
Well, let's get.
But Susan, this is important, and I want to add. But Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I have.
Eso.
You got 10 more seconds, and then we'll give the vice president a chance to.
So I want to ask the American people: How calm were you when you were panicked about where you're going to get your next roll of toilet paper? How calm were you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back? How calm were you when your children couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
Let's give Vice President Pence a chance to respond. Vice President Pence, you have 1 minute to respond.
Daniel Toro knows what's up. Chingue tu maga penstejo, mira la cara de Harris. He has no
And I
shame.
want all of you to know that you'll always
Daniel
be
del Toro.
and in our prayers. But when you say what the American people have done over these last 8 months hasn't worked, that's a great disservice to the sacrifices the American people have made. The reality, if I may finish, Senator, the reality is Dr. Fauci said everything that he told the president in the Oval Office, the president told the American people. Now, President Trump, I will tell you, has boundless confidence in the American people, and he always spoke with confidence that we'd get through this together. But when you say it hasn't worked, when Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx and our medical experts came to us in the second week of March, they said if the president didn't take the unprecedented step of shutting down roughly half of the American economy, that we could lose 2.2 million Americans. But that's the reality.
Thank you.
They also said to us, if we did everything right, Susan, we could still lose 200,000 Americans.
Vice President
Now, one
Pence,
life lost is too many, Susan, but the American people, I believe, deserve credit for the sacrifices that they have made, putting the health of their family.
Ese hijo de su cabrón. We made sacrifices because that motherfucker chingó todo. Dale, Kamala, dice Alexandra Maria Landeros.
Rose Garden event 11 days ago. What seems to have been a
Oh my God, la mera mera Jacita González aquí está. Jacita,
Hey,
¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
I am a little late.
Está bueno, está bueno. Were you helping Kamala prep? Is that where you were? Were you backstage?
I was giving her some talking.
You at the White House have not.
Eso.
I have a feeling.
Well, the American people have demonstrated.
¿Qué piensas? Aquí estamos nomás. We're here with Vanessa. Aquí estamos mirando esa chingadera. How you feeling about it so far?
Well, I wish I had whatever bottle of whatever you're drinking.
I have great confidence.
Gracias. It's for Firefoxes only.
And their ability
Hey, Cody.
to put it into practice. In the height of the epidemic,
Hola, Cody.
we were losing
This guy really does just look like a character out of like.
We surged resources to New Jersey.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's like a
needed to be
cross
done.
between I don't know who, but he thinks he's around
The
over
outbreak in the
Reagan.
Sun Belt happened this summer. Again, Americans.
Hey, Jonathan.
Jonathan, Boston's rolling deep.
The
Holy
President of the United
shit.
States goes on. A vacancy on the Supreme Court of the United States has come upon us.
Manila,
Yes, thank you, Vice
But
President Pence.
if I
So
may
can I
say,
tell y'all about my experience phone
I'm
banking
really
with Florida
inspirational.
Latinos today?
Ooh, eso.
Yes,
Vamos.
let's hear about it.
Many of the people who were at that event.
Yeah, we
Susan,
got work
actually
to do.
tested for
Uh,
coronavirus, and it was an
I got
outdoor event.
the good news is
All
the
of our
list I was
scientists
calling on
were
was
really
great.
looking
Like I
really
talked
well.
to tons of
The
folks.
difference here is President
bad
Trump and
news,
I
it
trust
was
the American
Very
people
much split.
to make choices in the best interest of their health.
Kind of what we
Joe
have
Biden,
seen and
Kamala
expected, like 60-40.
consistently talk about
Biden,
mandates, and not just mandates with the
just about.
coronavirus, but a government
and so
takeover of health
Thank
care,
you,
the
Vice
Green New
President Pence.
Deal.
we got a lot of work to do.
We're about freedom and respecting the freedom of the
Oh, look,
American
Hedo turned into a T-Rex.
It's
You're
time for
respecting
the
American people.
dinosaur. Ah.
Yeah, no, we got work to do.
Speaking those things that you may not want people to hear.
Which
but
is
they
good because I
need
know Jacinta's about to smack down some of that work. Jacinta's there, caravana coming down.
information
Right.
I was
As
just
a
going to say, I was like, well, if folks want to
No,
get
you
word
didn't
from
have enough
Florida,
advice.
we have
Now
to
you're
for
getting a
folks
food
to
line
get.
because
We just announced yesterday that we're gonna
administration that
some experience on the phone.
the American
Luckily you had a good contact rate, Jonathan, but a lot of folks have been reporting really low contact rates with phones because so many people are using them. And so we said, you know what, the best way to get more people and
Vice President
asking too much of the people.
is go.
They would not be equipped with
So
the
we're gonna
information
be doing caravanas to both Florida and Arizona.
Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, I'm sorry.
It's fine, I'm Kamala.
No, you're Senator Harris to me. For life to get back to normal.
So if people want to sign up for the caravana, the link is right there in the bottom. And we're gonna have folks just going from
half
the
of Americans now say they
October
would.
until Election Day, come canvas. We're going to do a couple of really big caravanas, get our people out, have visibility on the street. So yeah, folks want to sign up. The link is right here below. And we're going to be having an info session this Saturday at 12:30 Pacific, 30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. Folks want to learn more. So if you just go to the link down below, you can sign up. You'll get the information for the webinar on Saturday. And yeah, let's get out there because we have to go and knock on every door possible before the election if we actually want to try to flip both Florida and Arizona. We have a really good chance of doing that and talking to our people.
One of you will
I think we do have a good chance. You know, we just need to get people excited and informed and motivated.
Day, Joe Biden will be 78.
Yep, I'll be there. I'm really excited to go down to Florida and knock some doors. I think it's the best way to talk to folks, see folks eye to eye at a social distance as safely as we can. You know, I love that they're thinking through those protocols.
About safeguards or procedures when it
we got to do what we have to do to get this man out of office.
And if not, do you think you should?
I went down to Georgia for Gente for Abrams, and you know, when we were knocking on doors there, folks were actually really excited to be like, you came all the way from Boston to talk to me about this, like this is serious. And so I think it really does make an impact for us to get our people out knocking on doors with a mask, social distance, but you know, we have to give it everything we got.
Yeah, and the good thing has been that folks in North Carolina and folks in Georgia have already been door knocking. Like they've been figuring out what is the best protocol to keep people safe, to keep people distant, but still have effective conversations. So I feel like kind of their experience, you know, and shout out to all of the amazing canvassers in North Carolina and Georgia who have been hitting those doors. Like all of that knowledge is what's going to guide us to be able to do it safely. We know that folks have also been learning a lot about how to protest safely, right? It's the same kind of, we can apply those same principles because the Republicans have been registering people to vote in Florida. They've been knocking on doors. And so there's so much to catch up on. And the caravana part is just going to be super cool. We ordered today like the big FUERA Trump flags, which I am very excited about. But like we have the globos, we have the banderas, like it's also about bringing, you know, like making sure our people know that, you know, we're talking directly to them and actually that their vote matters and that we just have to, just learn from all of our experience and get people to go out.
Pero Jacinta, will there be tacos? Van a haber tacos en la caravana. ¿Qué van a comer? Dígame, por favor.
Yeah, you don't go to Miami for the tacos.
You go to Phoenix for the tacos.
Right? Come on,
En Phoenix va a haber taquitos de carne asada. But in Florida, I don't think they'll take that, so we're gonna have to figure out.
Oh, you're gonna get so much good Caribbean food.
We're super excited. And folks, you know, we're still trying to figure out. There's going to be canvassing happening in Miami, but there's also a lot of need over in Orlando. So like, there's, you know, tons of folks that we can be reaching out to and talking to in both those places and eating delicious food.
Wait, what did these cabrones say?
About safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability. And if not, and if you win the election next month, do you think you should? We have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
So let me tell you, first of all, the day I got the call from Joe Biden, it was actually a Zoom call, asking me to serve with him on this ticket. Was
you see what Vanessa Rivas says? Vanessa Rivas, you know what's up? Pence is such a smug, manslaining bootlicker. Eso es la verdad, es la neta, ¿no? Jacinta, what's your play-by-play commentary on that comment?
Gave birth to me at the age of 25.
I can't keep up with you, Fredo.
Yeah, I'm a dinosaur. Jonathan, what do you think about that comment? ¿Qué piensas?
Being elected the first woman district
I'm going to say it better myself.
Está bueno. Okay, está contestando. How's your answer? What's she saying?
Raised values that are about hard work, about the value and the dignity of public service, and about the importance of fighting for the dignity of all people. And I think Joe asked me to serve with him because, you know, I have a career that included being elected the first woman district attorney of San Francisco.
Oh, let's not talk about that. How do we fast forward through this part? Shh, mi gente, don't listen to this. La, 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 la. Fuera Trump, fuera Trump, fuera Trump. He needs our vote.
Like exactly.
Eso. There you go.
Exactly. That's all we have to.
Second only to the
Sí.
United States Department of Justice. And there I took on
Ay, Dios.
Great.
Oh, that's
This is a great moment for community interjection.
For-profit colleges
yes.
veterans.
And
then,
Yeah,
of course,
sometimes, I mean, you're not going to change who these people are, right? They're choosing our job. And I've been trying to tell myself
regular
that
receipt of classified information about threats to our nation and hotspots around the world. I've traveled the world.
Oh, Vanessa needs to come back.
Yeah, I'm back. I see me.
I think
Está bueno. You stepped out at the perfect time. There's a little conversation about her time as a DA. We don't need to know about
Yeah. We can briefly make pretend that that didn't happen.
Common values and principles.
Thank you, Senator Harris. You know, neither.
I
President
will
Trump nor
say she has become more progressive over time. She's been a better senator than she has been a district attorney.
And in recent days, President Trump's doctors have given misleading answers.
Is anybody hungry? Does anybody want a sandwich?
And my question is this information voters deserve to know?
Okay, va a echar mentira. Watch.
Well, Susan, thank you. And let me say, on behalf of the president and the first lady, how moved we've all been by the outpouring of prayers and concern.
Not for me.
No. My mom was, she had a novena for the other way. She's like, ándale este cabrón que se vaya. Those abuelitos, they got the prayer power, no joke. Vamos.
Walter Reed Hospital, the White House doctors was exceptional. And the transparency that they practiced all along the way will continue.
Fun fact, in 2017, I believe that Jacinta was a piñata for Halloween, and Tanya was the candy, throwing it out behind Jacinta. Is that true, Jacinta, or is that a rumor?
More than a little move.
That did happen.
Bipartisan support. And Senator, I want to thank you and Joe Biden.
We didn't have a costume, so we just had to run to the.
I also want to congratulate you.
And that was the first thing that came.
I did on that phone call on the historic nature.
Is he still lying?
I never expected to be on this stage 4 years ago, so I know the feeling. But the reality is, we've got an election before the American people in the midst of this challenging year, and the stakes have never been higher.
Reina says that Marisa was an avocado. She was.
The stakes have never been higher. That is true. The stakes have never been hired. We need to get these mofos out.
And especially about presidents.
Gina Amaya, ¿qué onda? T. Alvarez Edith, buenos días. Mario Gill, oh my God, Mario Gill is mi gente fan. Jenna Amado is also watching. ¿Qué onda, familia? Aquí estamos.
But also look at taxes. We now know, because of great investigative journalism, that Donald Trump paid $750 in taxes. When I first heard about it, I literally said, "You mean
you're gonna have to pay more taxes
$1,000?" And it was
yes.
We now know Donald Trump owes and is in debt for $400 million. And just so everyone,
it's so crazy to me how this man
owe money to somebody.
Like,
it'd be really good to know
couldn't make
who the
any
president
money
of the
on
United
any of his
States,
businesses. The
commander
only
in
time he
chief,
made money was
owes
when he
money
was on
to,
TV
as the
and
American
to
people
be a
have
guy
the
that
right
made
to
money.
know.
Like,
What is
absolutely ridiculous.
President's decisions, and is he making those decisions on the best interest of
talk
the
to
American people, of you, or self-interest?
Disappointing on who we are,
I'm glad that's not transparency, because it has to be across the board. Joe has been incredibly transparent over many, many years. The one thing we all know about Joe, he puts it all out there. He is honest, he is forthright. But Donald Trump, on the other hand,
he really doesn't have that much of a filter.
Jacinta, why are you laughing? You can't say it until after the election.
Mine spent 47 years of life. I respect you.
But I gotta say, like, her prosecutor delivery was good. You know, I'm like, she should be on Law and Order or some shit. Like,
I mean, when you have two criminals in the executive office, you know,
public reports are not accurate.
Well, I'm just saying, if we have to apply the beer rule, like, who would you have a beer with? I feel like
says the law
There she
allows. But
solidly
the
is.
distinction here is
I
that
mean, I would smoke a joint with Kamala. Apparently, she does,
brought all of that
Ah,
experience
bueno.
forward.
or has.
Turned the economy around by cutting taxes, rolling back.
Doriana
Thank you.
Adams, ¿qué onda? Phyllis Muro. Oh my God, Pence is the biggest fake a-hole
Thank you.
ever.
Thank
He rehearsed
Joe
right
Biden.
too much, so mannequin like,
You know, that's a
insincere.
good segue
Bootlicking keeps coming up. So much
is
bootlick. I agree. Shit, that's the phrase of the night.
another
Bootlicking.
Dude is like
for America
shining right now, like literally reflecting
by
like.
this coronavirus. We have a jobs crisis brewing. On Friday, we learned that the unemployment rate had declined to 7.9% in September, but the job growth had stalled, and that was before the latest round of
JP
layoffs.
Pascua, ¿qué onda? Corina with the comments. I enjoy the faces she makes when Pence is lying. Are you talking about Jacinta, Vanessa, or Kamala? I don't know who you're talking about.
Nearly 11 million jobs that existed at the beginning of the year haven't been replaced.
Take note.
Those hardest hit include
Respect
Latinos,
that.
Blacks, and women. Senator Harris, the Biden-Harris
This reflection of the plexiglass is really
and you
spooky.
would pay for that spending by raising $4 trillion in taxes on wealthy individuals and corporations. Some economists warn that could curb entrepreneurial ventures that fuel growth and create jobs.
We're
Could raise
entertaining 33 people. 33 people
recovery
think we're entertaining.
and
That's
have
pretty
200
surprising. But I will take that as a compliment. Shit.
Yeah.
31, we just lost two.
I think it couldn't be a more
You
fundamental.
called them out. You made them.
Sorry. They got nervous.
Joe Biden believes you measure the health and the strength of America's economy.
Daniel
based on
Toro.
health, the
Lies,
strength of
We
American
need
worker.
healing.
American family.
Healing. I'm a pass
On
on
the
this
other
one.
hand, you have Donald Trump. who
Jonathan,
measures
you want to read the healing one?
economy
It's in the comments.
based on how rich people are doing.
Hasita, how are your buddies Palantir?
Lying
I heard they
tax
went public this
bill
week.
benefiting the top 1%.
They went
and the
public
biggest
last week,
corporations
and
of
it hasn't
America,
been going very
leading
well for
to
them.
a $2 trillion deficit
sad.
that the American people are going to have to pay for.
But yeah,
On day one,
they're
Joe
now
Biden
they're now
will
public.
repeal
They use
that
it as an
tax bill.
opportunity to
He'll
make
get
a
rid
lot
of
of money for
And
themselves.
what he'll do with
That's
the
why they're
money is
friends with all
invest
these
it for the
fools.
American people. And
Cabrones.
through a plan that is about investing in infrastructure, something that Donald Trump said he would do. I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, Daniel Del Toro says lies, lies, lies. We need healing, and we will have our healing when these liars, these losers, leave the White House.
Energy, renewable energy.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
Innovation.
Meow.
Country
Meow. Meow.
in research.
Meow.
I like
Meow.
Pat Nato.
Interruption
Pat
for last-
Nato.
Will use that money to
Meow.
Yeah,
Meow.
y'all, this is a hangout space, not a. The debate is really in the background, y'all. Yeah, let's have some
Meow.
make the most of it.
Hey, Jonathan, do you know who you're voting for?
Meow. Meow.
For president? Are you kidding?
Meow.
I'm like, are you undecided?
No, definitely not. I hope no one in this chat is undecided either, y'all. Come on.
Meow.
That was the
I
thing
mean,
about the call.
honestly, I think we all know what's on the line. People are undecided about whether it's worth voting or not.
Rapid and robust recovery. But the latest economic report suggests
Decide to vote. I think that's it.
Americans
We all know Trump is trash
economic comeback
and Pence is trash.
months, but a year or more.
I think the undecideds, it's really about deciding to
President Trump and I
vote.
took office. America had gone through the slowest economic recovery.
I was talking to my mom the other day, y'all. I love the
Joe
story.
Biden, Vice President, tried to
And she's complaining to me how she's getting all these calls every day from people wanting her to vote
across
and
the board.
texts and,
Right, what
Senator
Harris
because she's a super voter.
American
Because
family of four had
since,
$2,000 savings in taxes.
she's become a citizen, I've been able to help her,
Rise in
make
wages
sure
that
she
hurt
knows the dates, who to vote for, support her in that. And
Americans.
she lives down in Florida. And
Household income for a family of
talking to her about what it means to be a super voter,
President Trump.
and her reaction to like how folks sometimes
day
ask
one,
for money, and
Joe Biden's going to raise
my mom
It's really
doesn't have any money to give, but she'll vote for you. But I had the conversation.
Sorry.
Already added.
Continue the story.
No, the conversation is just funny to me how like
Cut taxes,
she was slightly annoyed to be called so much, but also
free and fair trade.
that
Secured $4 trillion
that
from
in talking to her about the importance that she is being called so much because she
50
votes,
million jobs
you know,
for
and that really matters for our community
literally have
to do
spared
that,
no expense to help the American
because they
people
come to get us.
Joe
Right?
Biden and
Ask
Kamala
us to
Harris
go vote if we
want to
vote.
raise taxes. They want to bury our economy under a $2 trillion.
Oh my goodness, Tanya just jumped on.
Hey, Tanya,
Tanya
BTS
jumped on.
Tanya. Hey.
They want to abolish.
She doesn't want to speak, but she's here with Santa Claus. They came on the what's the shit called? The roller coaster, the slide. ¿Cómo se llama esa chingadera that Santa Claus comes in on?
Slay.
Thank you, a sleigh. Tanya, if you're watching, Jacinta told me to do this. I have no control over my computer. This was Jacinta's idea. You can tell by her facial expressions. Please don't kill me.
All of the tariffs that President Trump put into effect.
Yo, can we give a toast to Stephen Miller touching the Rona?
Think about it.
Eso.
The American economy, the
Jacinta's face. What's going on, Jacinta?
Oh, that was the best. When I read that, I was like, this just keeps getting further.
Yeah, it's like, okay, no more Rona. They got Stephen.
Senator Harris.
Well, I mean, I thought we saw enough of it in last week's debate, but I think this is supposed to be a debate based on fact and truth. And the truth and the fact is, Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
Repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President,
I feel like Salam's going to make an appearance soon.
Be important.
Tápate la boca.
Tápale, no me interrumpas, cabrón.
Last week they were going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. That was tax cuts that gave the average working family $2,000 in a tax break every.
Who thinks people who make over 400,000 should pay more taxes?
Is he only going to repeal part of the Trump tax cuts?
if you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a
Ooh, eso, dele, sas.
Joe
Here
Biden
we
will
go.
not raise taxes on anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. He has been very clear about that. Joe Biden will not end
I
fracking.
mean, that threshold could be a little bit lower, you know what I mean? But
Joe
I'll take
Biden.
it.
I mean, you know, I'm always just like people who are like, I'm like, you don't make enough money to get taxed. Like, what are you talking about? Are you like,
America back.
like
And
you're
now
not going to be the person getting taxed? We need to
credit.
start taxing rich people.
When they rode the coattails of Joe Biden's success for the economy that they had at the beginning of their term. Of course, now the economy is a complete disaster.
Whoa, now there's a tiger.
Arr.
Reigned over.
Guys, I have to run, but it's been a pleasure being in
On one hand, you have
conversation. Can't wait to see y'all in Florida, Jonathan. And yeah, anybody else who's watching and sick of this bullshit and wants to come knock on doors, sign up for the caravana. And we will see you in Arizona and Florida. Saludos.
Bye. Gracias, Jacinta.
Jacinta.
Ciao.
in court right now.
Busted.
Trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which means that
Lisa Navar Duran. She's killing it.
Susan.
Yes,
And it's
but we need to give Vice President.
I just like he interrupted.
Yo, let's get these mediocre white dudes out.
If you
Sí, ándale.
diabetes, breast cancer,
Like it's so disrespectful to see like that she has to debate someone of his caliber.
if you are
Ooh, I love it.
parents coverage, they're coming for you.
Senator Harris, thank you. Let me give you a chance to respond.
Well, I hope we have a chance to talk about health care because Obamacare was a disaster.
What the fuck is he talking about?
President Trump and I have a plan to improve health care and to protect pre-existing conditions for every American. But look, Senator Harris, you're
Sí, Amanda, tápate la boca. Jonathan, what soccer game are you watching? I heard a rumor that you have a soccer game on in the background.
You would ban fracking.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm a
Look this
fanatical naval fan.
Guarantee.
Team from
$2 trillion version of the Green New Deal. Susan, your newspaper, USA Today,
Yeah, that's
said
where my people are from. So growing up,
from the original Green New Deal.
watching the games, I never miss a game. I have my little Brazilian channel that I watch.
Wow.
Finally, this year it looks like we might actually win. So this year I'm especially fanatical. So
Ooh, I love it. Ooh, Juan Yanes Becerra. Who wants to read this?
Very much, Vice President. And once again, you've provided the perfect segue to a new.
I'm off. Lying Pence just turns my stomach. Something about vomit. Gabby Correa, Biden Harris, Lana Rico Infante. I can't read this. Jonathan, Vanessa, do you want to read Lana Rico Infante's comment? It's a good one.
Do you believe, as
Lying, I'm off. Lying Pence just turns my stomach into a green vomit.
The one after that, the one under that.
Oh, she's bitch slapping him with the facts. Nice.
Ooh, eso.
Wow.
First, I'm
Eso.
very proud of our record on the environment and on conservation.
How the fuck is he proud of his record on environment? Oh, Stephanie Yanes. ¿Qué onda? Sí, ese mentiroso. Familia watching on mi gente's Facebook page, give us the comments. ¿Quién está ganando? What do you think? ¿Es mentiroso? ¿No es mentiroso? Who's jumping on the caravana? Katie Bourget. ¿Qué onda? We have Vanessa and Jonathan from Boston. Aquí están.
No snowmen. It's not winter yet.
Okay. What do you want? I have dinosaurs. I have hamburgers, dragons.
Ooh, that better not be Goya behind you.
Let me do. ¿Cuál quieres?
It looks like some Goya cans. That little menu in the back. I was about to be like, no.
Here, let me give you.
I don't know. I thought the cat was cute.
Let me give you the cat.
President Trump and I
Where'd he go?
believe that progress that we have made in a cleaner environment has been happening precisely because we have a strong free market economy.
Wow, qué mentiroso.
The United States has reduced.
You both work in labor. What do you think of this free market economy this cabron's talking about?
Still in the Paris Climate Accord. We've done
I know that we can't
natural gas
successfully organize our unions under Trump's labor board.
So
I know Joe Biden says otherwise now, as you do, but the both of you repeatedly.
Oh, sorry. I just tried to amend his chat.
So by creating the kind of American innovation, we're actually steering toward a stronger and better environment. With regard to wildfires, President Trump
and most of the jobs that were created, we know never really happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think those refrigerators in Indiana that were promised to be made were made.
Thank you, Vice President.
Yeah, we're in the highest unemployment rate that's existed in my generation.
And President Trump and I are going to always put American jobs and American workers first.
And we know that our people are dying because they're going to work.
Congress. But Vice President Biden said in last week's debate.
Let's listen to Kamala. Then I want to talk about
the Biden-Harris campaign website,
how do the fights ahead that if Biden wins, it's very predictable.
Would be the stance of a Biden-Harris administration toward the Green New Deal. You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
So first of all, I would repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking. That is a fact. That is a fact. I will.
Ooh, he should. What the hell are you doing?
Very clear that he thinks about growing jobs, which is why he will not increase taxes for anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. Joe Biden's economic plan, Moody's, which is a reputable Wall Street firm, has said will create 7 million more jobs than Donald Trump's. And part of those jobs that will be created by Joe Biden are going to be about clean energy and renewable energy. Because you see, Joe understands that the west coast of our country is burning, including my home state of California. Joe sees what is happening on the Gulf states, which are being battered by storms. Joe has seen and talked with the farmers in Iowa, whose entire crops have been destroyed because of floods.
Farmers in Iowa.
Joe believes, again, in science. I'll tell you something, Susan. I served, when I first got to the Senate, on the committee that's responsible for the environment. Do you know this administration took the word science off the website and then took the phrase climate change off the website?
Science.
We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they don't believe in science. And Joe's plan is about saying we're going to deal with it, but we're also going to create jobs. Donald Trump, when asked about the wildfires in California, and the question was, you know, the science is telling us this. You know what Donald Trump said? Science doesn't know. So let's talk about who is prepared to lead our country.
Yeah, that
the
face.
next
Oh,
4 years on what is an
He basically
existential
did the
us as human beings. Joe is about saying we're going to invest that in renewable energy. It's going to be about the creation of millions of jobs. We will achieve net zero emissions by 2050, carbon neutral by 2035. Joe has a plan. This has been a lot of talk from the Trump administration, and really it has been to go backward instead of forward. We will also re-enter the climate agreement with pride.
Senator Harris just said that climate change is an existential threat. Vice President Pence, do you believe that climate change poses an existential threat?
As I said, Susan, the climate is changing. We'll follow the science. But once again,
what a
Senator
prick!
Harris,
What a prick! How else do you
is
explain that
denying
reaction?
the fact
What
that
a
they're going to raise
prick!
taxes.
Oh,
Joe
Susan,
Biden said twice
cabrón.
in the debate last week that on day one, he was going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. Those tax cuts delivered $2,000 in tax relief to the average family of 4 across America. And with regard to banning fracking, I just recommend that people look at the record. You yourself said repeatedly that you would ban fracking.
I just got a text from my sister that she can hear my mom laughing
thank you for pointing out the Green
throughout
New
this
Deal
entire thing,
website.
probably because Kamala is schooling him.
As you co-sponsored with AOC when she submitted it in the Senate.
Amanda, you're killing it. I love this.
Get America to the Paris.
It does feel nice to have a woman
the American people
on the stage.
Always cherished our environment.
I will say.
Continue to cherish it. We've made great progress reducing CO2 emissions through American innovation and the development of natural gas through fracking. We don't need a massive $2 trillion Green New Deal that would impose all new mandates on American businesses and American families.
Thank you.
Joe Biden wants us to retrofit 4 million American business buildings. It makes no sense. It will cost jobs. President Trump is going to put America first. He's going to put jobs first, and we're going to take care of our environment and follow the science.
Thank you. You know, on the issue of jobs,
Senator Harris,
let's talk about that. The vice president earlier referred to, as part of what he thinks is an accomplishment, the president's trade war with China. You lost that trade war. You lost it. What ended up happening is because of a so-called trade war with China, America lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Farmers have experienced bankruptcy because of it. We are in a manufacturing recession because of it. And when we look at where this administration has been, there are estimates that by the end of the term of this administration, they will have lost more jobs than almost any other presidential administration. And the American people know what I'm talking about. You know, I think about 20-year-olds. You know, we have a 20-year-old, a 20-something-year-old who are coming out of high school and college right now, and you're wondering, is there going to be a job there for me? We're looking at people who are trying to figure out how they're going to pay rent by the end of the month. Almost half of American renters are worried about whether they're going to be able to pay rent by the end of the month. This is where the economy is in America right now, and it is because of the catastrophe and the failure of leadership of this administration.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you just 15 seconds to respond, because then I want to move on.
Well, I'd love to respond. Look, lost the trade war with China. Joe Biden never fought it. Joe Biden has been a cheerleader for communist China through over the last several decades. And again, Senator Harris, you're entitled to your opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. When Joe Biden was vice president, we lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs. And President Obama said they were never coming back. He said we needed a magic wand to bring them back. In our first 3 years after we cut taxes, rolled back regulation, unleashed American energy, this administration saw 500,000 manufacturing jobs created. And that's exactly the kind of growth we're going to continue to see as we bring our nation through this pandemic. But a Green New Deal, your massive new mandates, your Paris Climate Accord, it's going to kill jobs this time, just like it killed jobs.
I just need to respond very briefly.
15 seconds, and
Thank
then
you.
we'll move on.
Thank you. Joe Biden is responsible for saving America's auto industry, and you voted against it. So let's set the record straight. Thank you.
I'd like to talk about China. We have, as our next topic, we have no more complicated or consequential foreign relationship than the one with China. It is a huge market for American agricultural goods.
I think this cat is drunk, smoking a cigar. He's got his sunglasses on. How long is this shit? Jonathan's ready to go to bed. I'm ready to go to bed. ¿Cuándo se acaba esto?
China will pay.
Told you, I'm tired.
Ay, mi gato está borracho.
You know, this debate, I thought was going to be a little bit more fireworky.
You have 2 minutes.
No, está aburrido. Is it 90 minutes or 60 minutes?
Before I leave that, let me speak to voting records if I can.
Ah, este cabrón. No, boo.
Thousands.
Boo. How the Red Sox doing? No, who's in Boston? What's the name of your baseball team? I don't know. Shit. Red Sox?
To renegotiate NAFTA in the United States.
I don't pay attention until the playoffs.
I hit the
me either.
I hate when he speaks.
One of only 10
Can we just give a shout out to Amanda for all these amazing graphics and effects and organizing coordinators?
No,
Aplausos.
Can I tell you, I love the gift with the chancleta saying "Fuera Trump."
But Senator, you said it didn't go far enough.
Kamala's giving Pence la chancla.
Your radical environmental agenda.
Edwin Lopez is watching. ¿Qué onda, familia? And Loana, ¿qué onda, fam? 90 minutes, 7:30. Loana Rivera Palacio.
Newsweek magazine said that Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the United States Senate in 2019.
Irvin was in Georgia canvassing. Irvin, ¿cómo te fue?
More liberal than any of the others in the United States Senate. So now with regard to
He
China,
loves Amanda too. He's such an Amanda fan. We're all Amanda fans.
China is to blame for the coronavirus.
Yes, that's all.
Irvin, how's canvassing going in Georgia?
China and the World Health Organization did not play straight with the American people. They did not let our personnel into China to get information on the coronavirus until the middle of February. Fortunately, President Trump, in dealing with China from the outset of this administration, standing up to China that had been taking advantage of America for decades in the wake of Joe Biden's cheerleading for China, President Trump made that decision before the end of January to suspend all travel from China. And again, the American people deserve to know Joe Biden opposed President Trump's decision to suspend all travel from China. He said it was hysterical. He said it was xenophobic. But President Trump has stood up to China. We're going to continue to
Thank you, Vice President.
We want to improve the relationship. We're going to level the playing field. We're going to hold China accountable for what they did to America with the coronavirus.
Thank you. Senator Harris, let me ask you the same question that I asked the Vice President. How would you describe our fundamental relationship with China? Are we competitors, adversaries, enemies? You'll have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Susan, the Trump administration's perspective and approach to China has resulted in the loss of American lives, American jobs, and America's standing. There's a weird obsession that President Trump has had with getting rid of whatever accomplishment was achieved by President Obama and Vice President Biden. For example, they created within the White House an office that basically was responsible for monitoring pandemics. They got rid of it.
Not true.
There was a team of disease experts that President Obama and Vice President Biden dispatched to China to monitor what is now predictable and what might happen. They pulled them out. We now are looking at 210,000 Americans who have lost their lives. Let's look at the job situation. We mentioned before, the trade deal, the trade war, they wanted to call it, with China. It resulted in the loss of over 300 manufacturing jobs and a manufacturing recession, and the American consumer paying thousands of dollars more for goods because of that failed.
Oh, you're a different type of cat. Now you're a cat with a hat and
A
shades.
reputable research firm
See, cat with a hat.
analysis
See. Meow.
that shows that leaders of all of our formerly allied countries have now decided that they hold in greater esteem and respect Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese Communist Party, than they do Donald Trump, the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States. This is where we are today because of a failure of leadership by this administration.
Senator Harris, we've seen changes in the role of the United States in terms of global leadership over the past 4 years. And of course, times do change. What's your definition? We've seen strains with China, of course, as the Vice President mentioned. We've seen strains with our traditional allies in NATO and elsewhere. What is your definition of the role of American leadership in 2020?
So, you know, Joe is, I love talking with Joe about a lot of these issues. And, you know, Joe, I think he said it quite well. He says, you know, foreign policy, it might sound complicated, but really it's relationships. So just think about it as relationships. And so we know this in our personal and professional relationships. You got to keep your word to your friends. Got to be loyal to your friends. People who've stood with you, got to stand with them.
Amanda, everybody watching at home, this is Amanda who's making the magic happen.
But what
Gracias, Amanda.
Trump is that he has betrayed our friends and embraced dictators around the world. Let's take, for example, Russia. So Russia, I serve on the Intelligence Committee of the United States Senate. America's intelligence community told us Russia interfered in the election of the President of the United States in 2016 and is playing in 2020. Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, said the same. But Donald Trump, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, prefers to take the word of Vladimir Putin over the word of the American intelligence community. You look at our friends at NATO. He has walked away from agreements. You can look at the Iran nuclear deal, which now has put us in a position where we are less safe because they are building up what might end up being a significant nuclear arsenal. We were in that deal, guys. We were in the Iran nuclear deal with friends, with allies around the country. And because of Donald Trump's unilateral approach to foreign policy, coupled with his isolationism, he pulled us out and has made America less safe. So, Susan, it's about relationships. And the thing that has always been part of the strength of our nation, in addition to our great military, has been that we keep our word. But Donald Trump doesn't understand that because he doesn't understand what it means to be honest.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you a chance to respond.
Well, thank you. Well, President Trump kept his word when we moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel. When Joe Biden was vice president, they
we should be talking over this shit.
Strong with our allies, but we've been demanding. NATO is now contributing more to our common defense than ever before, thanks to President Trump's
Irvin, that's so awesome that you knocked on so many doors. Was that 150 doors today, or since you've been in Georgia?
Against those who would do us harm. You know, when President Trump came into office,
probably just today, they've been knocking on so many doors. Like the Georgia team has been killing it. Like Irvin said, the Georgia team is kicking ass and probably gonna exceed the goals for number of doors knocked on. But we still need more help. So if folks can sign up to phone banks and take our gente in Georgia, it would be much appreciated.
For the death of thousands.
Yeah, and I hope y'all are staying safe and healthy. I see that y'all are taking the precautions necessary. But, you know, you're doing really important work.
Justice in the United States. Jihadi John was killed on the battlefield along with the other beetle. The reality is that when Joe Biden was vice president, we had an opportunity to save Kayla Miller. Breaks my heart to reflect on it, but the military came into the Oval Office, presented a plan. They said they knew where Kayla was. Baghdadi had held her for 18 months, abused her mercilessly before they killed her. But when Joe Biden was vice president, they hesitated for a month. And when armed forces finally went in, it was
fun fact, I don't know if you know, but Amanda loves Star Trek. She knows everything about Star Trek. Amanda, what was the name of the first Star Trek guy who flew the plane?
President Donald Trump had been president, they believe Kayla would be alive today.
Thank you, Vice
Look, we
President.
destroyed the
There's no plays in Star Trek Vogue, but there was a Trek the Vote event that a bunch of Star Trek famous actors from different Star Trek did with Stacey Abrams, and there were some other folks there like Cory Booker and other people. But Stacey Abrams is the only like real Trek like Democrat who did that event. So that was
America is safer. Our allies are safer.
Amelia, if you're watching, let's quiz Amanda. Give us your Star Trek questions. Put them in the comments.
I would like to give Senator Harris a
Person to stump Amanda gets a squatty potty.
Of course, there are other topics we want to talk about.
But I would like equal time.
Yes,
Thank you.
please go ahead.
First of all, to the Mueller family, I know about your daughter's case, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What happened to her is awful, and it should have never happened. And I know Joe feels the same way, and I know that President Obama feels the same way. But you mentioned Soleimani. Let's start there. So after the strike on Soleimani, there was a counter strike on our troops in Iraq. And they suffered serious brain injuries. And do you know what Donald Trump dismissed them as? Headaches. And this is about a pattern of Donald Trump's, where he has referred to our men who are serving in our military as suckers and losers. Donald Trump, who went to Arlington Cemetery and stood above the graves of our fallen heroes and said, what's in it for them? Because of course, he only thinks about what's in it for him. Let's take what he said about John McCain, a great American hero. And Donald Trump says he doesn't deserve to be called a hero because he was a prisoner of war. And this is very important when you want to talk about who is the current commander-in-chief and what they care about and what they don't care about. Public reporting that Russia had bounties on the heads of American soldiers. And you know what a bounty is? It's somebody puts a price on your head and they will pay it if you are killed. And Donald Trump had talked at least 6 times to Vladimir Putin and never brought up the subject. Joe Biden would never do that. Joe Biden would hold Russia to account for any threat to our nation's security or to our troops who are sacrificing their lives for the sake of our democracy and our safety.
Thank you, Senator Harris. This is such an important issue, but we have other important issues as well. And I want to make sure we have a chance.
I really have to respond to that.
And
look, she has
15 seconds because
I got to have more than that. Look,
I'm sorry, Vice President, but you've had more time than she's had so far.
Slanders against President Donald Trump
I'm back.
regarding men and women of our armed forces are absurd.
I'm sorry, Vice
My
President
son is
Pence.
a captain in the United
Yes.
States Marine Corps. My son-in-law is deployed in the United States Navy. I can assure all of you, with sons and
Why is she letting him talk again? Why is she not shutting him down? This is totally not fair.
serve in our armed forces, and any suggestion otherwise is ridiculous.
But
Let
thank
me
you,
also
Vice
say,
President Pence.
the
Vice
American
President
people
Pence,
deserve, Susan,
Vice
the
President
American
Pence,
people
I
deserve to
didn't,
know.
Vice President Pence, I did not, excuse me,
Susan, the
I did
American
not
people
create
deserve
the
to know
rules for tonight.
Joe Biden.
Your
and Trump-
campaign agreed to the rules for tonight's debate with the Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm here to enforce them, which involves moving from one topic to another, giving roughly equal time to both of you,
Go right
which is what I'm trying very hard to do.
Go right ahead.
So I want to go ahead,
Tápate la boca.
which is an important one, as the last topic was, and that is the Supreme Court. On Monday, the Senate Judiciary Committee is scheduled to open hearings on Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Supreme Court. Senator Harris, you'll be there as a member of the committee. Her confirmation would cement the court's conservative majority and make it likely open to more abortion restrictions, even to
Overturning the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling. Access to abortion would then be up to the states. Vice President Pence, you're the former governor of Indiana. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want Indiana to do? Would you want your home state to ban all abortions? You have 2 minutes, uninterrupted.
Well, thank you for the question, but I'll use a little bit of my time to respond to that very important issue before. The American people deserve to know Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general, was responsible for the death
Kamala does give mom
of
looks.
American service members. When the opportunity came, we saw him headed to Baghdad to kill more Americans. President Trump didn't hesitate. And Qasem Soleimani is gone. But you deserve to know that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris actually criticized the decision to take out Qasem Soleimani. It's really inexplicable, but with regard to Joe Biden, it's explainable. This history records that Joe Biden actually opposed the raid against Osama bin Laden. It's absolutely essential that we have a commander-in-chief who will not hesitate to act to protect American lives and to protect American service members, and that's what you have in President Donald Trump. Now, with regard to the Supreme Court of the United States, let me say President Trump and I could not be more enthusiastic about the opportunity to see Judge Amy Coney Barrett become Justice Amy Coney Barrett. She's a brilliant woman, and she will bring a lifetime of experience and a sizable American family to the Supreme Court of the United States. And our hope is, in the hearing next week, unlike Justice Kavanaugh received with treatment from you and others, we hope she gets a fair hearing. And we particularly hope that we don't.
How are they going to have this hearing? Isn't like half of
Christian faith that we saw before.
Maybe.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, two, at least two on the Judiciary Committee are.
From the Court of Appeals expressed concern that the dogma of her faith lived loudly in her. Dick Durbin of Illinois said that it was a concern. Senator, I know one of our judicial nominees you actually attacked because they were a member of the Catholic Knights of Columbus, just because the Knights of Columbus holds pro-life.
Marina makes a really great point.
My hope is that when the hearing takes place,
why do you
Judge Amy Coney Barrett
care about the size of the family?
Respectfully voted in favor of the Supreme Court of America.
Senator Harris, you're
like,
the
that's like
senator
some
from
weird,
the
like
Attorney
freaky.
General of California. So let me ask you a parallel question to the one I posed to the Vice President.
Like white supremacist shit.
If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want California to do? Would you want your home state to enact no restrictions on access to abortion? And you have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Thank you, Susan. First of all, Joe Biden and I are both people of faith.
The one I also noticed that.
And it's insulting to suggest that we would knock anyone for their faith. And in fact, Joe, if elected, will be only the second practicing Catholic as president of the United States.
I never understood this.
On the issue of this,
it's
this
amazing.
nomination.
This point is amazing. That
Joe and I are very clear, as are the majority of the American people.
That is so.
We are 27 days
like,
before
I think
the decision
a majority, like there already are Catholics on the Supreme Court, like plenty of them, and so it's not about being anti-Catholic at all.
No, but I think it's that like some evangelicals don't consider Catholics to be Christians.
And so Joe has been very clear.
So what? What does this have to do with anything? Like it's a bullshit like argument that no one is making, and like they are able to turn that argument into a fucking debate question. And that's what's outrageous about this Republican Party, is that they at any point can polarize anything because their base is like so thoughtless in like any logic, like anything can stick with them. And then we have to have these arguments like they're like good faith people, and unfortunately they're not, and so we don't have to treat them seriously. And too often I see like Joe Biden and Kamala, like they take these guys seriously, like they're like good, fine gentlemen in the world, especially Joe Biden. And so we have to, like, this ties back to the point I wanted to make earlier, which is about the very predictable fight that we're going to have to face, which is they won't want to have anything.
People will lose your coverage.
Anything. If
it means that if you're under the age of 26, you can't stay on your parents' coverage anymore.
It will just be a replay of Obama's.
Contrast couldn't be more clear.
Yeah.
You're trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Joe Biden is saying,
but hopefully the Senate is looking good in terms of it being flipped.
Let's bring
hope
down
so. I hope so
premiums.
too.
Let's lower
But
Medicare
I'm saying, like,
eligibility.
Joe Biden has to
Thank
get us
And
out
that's
of
true
Biden.
leadership.
Like,
You know,
unfortunately
you
for
mentioned
Obama, he was very,
earlier,
very weak with
Vice
these
President
Republicans.
Pence said the president
And
was
it's
committed
a very predictable
to
fight.
maintaining
And I
protections for
hope
people
to
with
God that
preexisting
Biden is
conditions.
not going to play the
But you
same
do have this court
playbook
case that you are
that
supporting,
Democrats
your
always do.
administration supporting,
I
that
mean,
would strike
he's
down.
totally gonna play the white gentleman's
He
game,
says,
but
President Trump says that he's going to
better than
protect
Trump.
people conditions, but he has not explained how he
But
would
we do
that.
need to think about how we're going to organize in the first 100 days of Biden's presidency.
How would your administration protect Americans with pre-existing conditions have access to affordable insurance if the Affordable Care Act is struck down?
Well, thank you, Susan. But let me just say, addressing your very first question, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. I'm pro-life. I don't apologize for it. And this is another one of those cases where there's such a dramatic contrast. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth, late-term abortion. They want to increase funding to Planned Parenthood of America. Now, for our part, I would never presume how Judge Amy Coney Barrett would rule
Tápate la boca.
of the United States, but we'll continue to stand strong for the right to life. When you speak about the Supreme Court, though, I think the American people really deserve an answer, Senator Harris. Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed? I mean, there have been 29 vacancies on the Supreme Court during presidential election years from George
I
Washington.
hope they pack the court. They need to increase the amount of Supreme Court
Your
justices.
party is actually
Right.
openly
And this is
advocating
another
for
instance, right,
adding to the
Vanessa,
Supreme
that
Court, which has had 9
Democrats run
seats for
away from
150
contrast,
years if you
Republicans
don't get
run
your way.
into.
This is a classic case of if you
Republicans
can't
know
win
that
by the rules,
contrast
you're going to change the
conflict
rules. Now,
for
you
them
refuse to
is
answer the
good.
question.
Is too radical. Is too
No, but
much of a
Democrats
change.
could own this thing and say, yes, we need to pack the courts.
Yeah.
You guys stole at least 2 seats.
Joe Biden, if
You know, like, you don't just get to steal 2 seats.
Supreme Court,
Yeah.
So,
I'm so glad
instead of running into that, making an argument, doing the political education with their base,
in-
right, building up a case, they run away
Yeah.
from it. And it causes like a very, like, if folks are only paying attention to see who looks stronger, that's why Republicans are perceived to be stronger. And it pisses me off.
Well,
because
we
you-
do have people like
you
Senator.
actually
We
be
do
a
have
strong-
people like Senator Markey though, who's saying yes, we need to expand the Supreme Court, and hopefully that's something that we can also push for the first 100 days.
Yeah, accountability. There's going to be some for
Not
Democrats.
the right
too,
thing to
like,
do.
absolutely.
The American people deserve to make the decision.
We got to be ready.
President of the United States. And then that person can select who will serve for a lifetime on the highest court of our land. And so Joe and I are very clear. The American people are voting right now, and it should be their decision about who will serve on this most important body for a lifetime.
Thank you,
And the
Senator
American
Harris.
people, Susan, are voting right now. They'd like to know if you and Joe Biden are going to pack the Supreme Court if you don't get your way in this nomination.
Let's talk about
You
packing.
once
Come
again
on,
gave a
it's-
non-answer. Joe Biden gave a
Pack it,
non-answer.
pack
The
it.
American people deserve a straight answer. If you haven't figured it out yet, the straight answer is they are going to pack the Supreme Court if they somehow win this election. Men and
Mr.
women,
Vice
I
President,
got
I
to
think
tell you,
it's-
people across this country, if you cherish our Supreme Court, if you cherish the separation of powers, you need to reject the Biden-Harris ticket. Come November the 3rd, re-elect President Donald Trump, and we'll stand by that separation.
But yeah, no, that is something that the right
Yeah,
does
let's
well.
talk
They
about
have a
packing the
clear
court.
position.
Let's talk about the
Please.
fact. Yeah, I'm about to.
I want to listen to this.
So the Trump-Pence administration has been, because I sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee, Susan, as you mentioned, and I've witnessed the appointments for lifetime appointments to the federal courts, district courts, courts of appeal. People who are purely ideological, people who have been reviewed by legal professional organizations and found to have been not competent, are substandard. And do you know that of the 50 people who President Trump appointed to the Court of Appeals for lifetime appointments, not one is Black, This is what they've been doing. You want to talk about packing a court? Let's have that discussion.
All right, thank you, Senator. Let's go on and talk about the issue of racial justice.
I just want the record to reflect.
Actually, a very good answer.
But
I'm actually, you know what, all that I said earlier,
answer the question. But I think
for what I expected, I think this is a really, really good answer.
In March, Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency room technician in Louisville, was shot and killed after police officers executing a search warrant in a narcotics investigation broke into her apartment. The police said they identified themselves. Taylor's boyfriend said he didn't.
I mean, they also might as well have a strong position because it's probably not like one of the top issues.
The officers then fired.
I mean, the Supreme Court is definitely
say they were acting
a major issue why to vote
connection with her death
for Joe Biden,
Senator Harris,
or any president.
Breonna Taylor was justice done.
But
you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, talk about opening the thing that we need more seats. Why not? The current
family and
her 2 seats were stolen.
She was a beautiful.
Let's fight for it.
She had as her life goal to become a nurse, and she wanted to become an EMT to first learn.
I think I'm a dragon now, ready to fight.
Yeah, I like it. Luana says 25 people on the Supreme Court. I see no problem with that either.
Unjustifiably and tragically and violently.
Yeah, let's make it actually.
It brings me to, you know, the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that America witnessed, during which an American man.
Also, let's get rid of the Senate someday too.
Under the knee.
Just saying.
An armed uniform.
And the Electoral College.
The filibuster has to go.
And people around our country of every race, of every age, of every gender, perfect strangers to each other, marched shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, fighting for us to finally achieve that ideal of equal justice under law. And I was a part of those peaceful protests. And I believe strongly that, first of all, we are never going to condone violence, but we always must fight for the values that we hold dear, including the fight to achieve our ideals. And that's why Joe Biden and I have said on this subject, look, and I'm a former career prosecutor. I know what I'm talking about. Bad cops are bad for good cops. We need reform.
Kamala, we said you didn't want you to talk about that.
System, which is why Joe and I will immediately ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if we did that. We will require a national registry for police officers who break the law. We will, on the issue of criminal justice reform, get rid of private prisons and cash bail, and we will decriminalize marijuana.
And cash bail. And cash bail.
Have been convicted of marijuana. This is the time for leadership on a tragic issue of unarmed Black people in America.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me pose the same question to you.
All right.
In the case of Breonna Taylor, was justice done? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Well, our heart breaks for the loss of any innocent American life. And the family of Breonna Taylor has our sympathy.
Bullshit. Fuck this guy. Bullshit. She has no right to say her name.
Any innocent person. Any innocent person.
It is remarkable that as a former prosecutor, you would assume that an impaneled grand jury looking at all the evidence got it wrong. But you're entitled to your opinion, Senator. I think, look, and with regard to George Floyd, there's no excuse for what happened to George Floyd. Justice will be served. But there's also no excuse for the rioting and looting that followed.
Oh, F you.
It's astonishing. Flora Westbrook is with us here tonight in Salt Lake City. Just a few weeks ago, I stood at what used to be...
I have to watch my mouth because mommy's on Facebook a lot.
Burned to the ground by rioters and looters.
Oh, that's cute.
And Flora is still trying to put her life back together. And I must tell you, this presumption...
What up, Pence?
Why is it whenever they talk about racial justice, Pence and Trump always talk about rioters and looters? Are they insinuating that Black folk and Latinx folk are rioters and looters that were criminals? It's the same dog whistle bullshit. It's infuriating. It's vile. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
is a great insult.
disgusting.
It's so brazen
disgusting.
though. It's not even dog whistle at that much.
No.
That whistle, we can hear that whistle
every day.
No, it's no, and they and whenever
It is
you know they like you know they try to talk about policing when it comes to Black issues, like
Republicans and Democrats. Senator Harris, you got up and walked out of the room.
oh my gosh, there is a mosca on Pence's head.
Scott's bill on the Senate floor that would have provided new.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is gonna trend. Oh my God, yes.
What a meme.
Wow.
Y'all know that flies are
Yo,
attracted
you
to
see,
shit.
there's a fly crawling on Mike Pence's head right now.
Flies love caca. Amanda, is there a way to circle that shit? There's a
True.
flies love
That's true.
caca, and they're all over that caca right there.
I think you're on it. I think you're on it, Hiro. Hiro, you're on the memes for this.
President?
Vamos, we need to tell Twitter there's a fly on Pence.
He's a zombie. It's because he's dead inside.
Personally
Oh,
Yes.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see the memes.
I'm the only one on this stage who has prosecuted the big banks for taking advantage of
That is
homeowners. I'm the only one
hilarious.
on the stage who prosecuted for profit colleges.
Oh, there it is. That's beautiful. Ay, Dios mío. I love it.
And
I
the
love it.
reality
Why
is
caca?
that we
Why
are
from
still
caca?
there
How
for
long
election
is that
in
thing gonna be
27
there?
days. Where last week,
When you're dead inside,
took a debate stage in front of 70 million Americans and refused to condemn white supremacists. And it wasn't like he didn't have a chance. He didn't do it. And then
yo, this made my night. La Mosca. La Mosca is the true hero of this debate right now.
And this is a part of a pattern of Donald Trump's. He called Mexicans.
Ya se murió en su cabeza por podrido.
Instituted as his first act a Muslim ban. He on the issue of
Pence is not so fly.
where people were peacefully protesting.
Rachel Schmidt, Gabriela Marquez Benitez, flies
A
love
young woman was
caca.
killed. And on the other side, there were neo.
Came to see about the fly on his head. It's not budging. Yes. How many viewers do we have right now?
Slur.
Are we up from 33?
Asked about it.
We have, I stopped looking. I think we have,
both sides. This is who we have as.
oh, you don't want to know. We're down a little.
Okay. Viva la Mosca!
President who brings our country together,
Senator Harris,
and recognizes the beauty in our diversity and the fact that we
Senator
all
Harris,
have so much more in common than what separates us.
Vice President Pence, let me give you a minute to respond.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that very much.
Still, we got enough of la Mosca for memes.
Is that you selectively
For the
edit,
meme.
like Senator Harris did comments
Love it.
that Trump and I and others on our side of the aisle make. I mean, Senator Harris conveniently omitted after the president made comments about people on either side of the debate over monuments, he condemned the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists, and has done so repeatedly. You're concerned that he doesn't.
I know. At least we had a highlight, Gabriela. I agree with you.
His daughter and son-in-law are Jewish. This is a president who
Man,
cherishes.
I can't wait for the memes. Los memes.
Having personally prosecuted, I'm glad you brought up your record, Senator.
Thank you.
But I really need to make this point. When you were DA in San Francisco, when you left office, African Americans were 19 times more likely to be prosecuted for minor drug offenses than whites and Hispanics. When you were Attorney General of California, you increased the disproportionate incarceration of blacks in California. You did nothing on criminal justice reform in California. You didn't lift a finger to pass the First Step Back on Capitol Hill. I mean, the reality is your record speaks for itself.
Amanda! Amanda for the win.
Thank you, Vice
Eso. Pobrecita. She's sitting
Y
there.
la mosca, y la mosca.
Thank you, sir.
Mosca, la mosca, la
There's
mosca.
no more important issue than the final issue that we're going to talk about tonight, and that is the issue of the election itself.
Susan, he attacked my record. I would like an opportunity to respond.
Let me give you 30 seconds because we're running out of time.
I appreciate that.
Yes, girl.
First of all,
right, Susan.
Served as the Attorney General of the state of California. The work that I did is a model of what our nation needs to do,
Woof.
and we will be able
Woof.
to do under a
Wow,
Joe
wow.
Biden presidency. Our agenda includes what this administration has failed to do. It will be about not only instituting a ban on chokeholds and carotid holes.
Thank you.
Not only,
Thank you, Senator.
I would like to go through.
These are points that you made earlier in the hour, and I want to talk about the election itself before we have to.
But I want to talk about the connection between what Joe and I will do and my record, which includes I was the first statewide officer to institute a requirement that my agents would wear body cameras and keep them on full time. We were the first to initiate a requirement that there would be a training for law enforcement on implicit bias, because yes, Joe Biden and I recognize that implicit bias does exist, Mr. Vice President, contrary to what you may believe. We did the work of instituting reforms that were about investing in reentry. This is the work that we have done and the work we will do going forward. And again, I will not be lectured by the Vice President on our record law enforcement and keeping our
Ooh, so husky.
Oh, you were kidding, my bad.
I'd like to pose the first. I'd like you to respond first.
Kelly has some questions for La Mosca.
The election itself. President Trump has several times refused.
Yes, I love that. Let's ask. What would you ask the fly?
Power after the election. If your ticket wins and President Trump refuses to accept a peaceful transfer of power, what steps would you and Vice President Biden then take? What would happen next? You have 2 minutes.
So I'll tell you, Joe and I are, I think, particularly proud of the coalition that we've built around our campaign. We probably have one of the broadest coalitions of folks that you've ever seen in a presidential race. Of course, we have the support
Somebody
of
on Twitter wrote, "Can we give the fly an award?"
and
Somebody else wrote, "The fly needs to be tested for COVID-19." Oh my God!
Supporting our ticket. We have the support of Colin Powell, Cindy McCain, John Kasich, over 500 generals, retired generals, and former national security experts and advisors are supporting our campaign. And I believe they are doing that because they know that Joe Biden
Does Mike Pence smell like a wet dog?
For our democracy, and to fight for the integrity of our democracy, and to bring
Speaking
integrity.
of dog,
And so we
a wet
believe,
dog, a wet dog.
we believe.
what does the wet dog sound like? I don't know how to make that sound.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying that they smell bad
Please
when they're
vote,
wet.
vote early, come up with a plan to vote, go to iwillvote.com. You can also go to joebiden.com. We have it within our power in these next 27 days.
27 days, y'all. 27 days.
That's insane. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
And it is within
That means we have 27 days to make calls,
voice.
which if you go to FUERA Trump, you can sign up to do phone and text banking in our battleground states. We have La Caravanas that are heading down to Florida and to Arizona, and then we have the operations on the ground in North Carolina and in Georgia too.
Said, hey, just please vote. So I'll repeat what Joe said. Please vote.
Thank you, Senator. Vice President Pence, President Trump has several times refused to commit himself to a peaceful transfer of power after the
Y'all, again, immigration didn't make it into this debate so far.
Power. What would be your role and responsibility as vice president? What would
I thought I missed it. I thought they did mention something.
Did they mention how the Department of Justice did have the policy on family separations?
The establishment in Washington, D.C., an establishment that Joe Biden's been a part of for 47 years.
No, I didn't catch it.
Has launched a movement of everyday Americans from every walk of life.
I mean, that was the news that broke today.
Same Americans that delivered that.
Did it break though? Did it? Was anybody surprised?
Amanda's
No, nobody's surprised. But can we talk about it? It just came hello.
Sorry, I was just coming to say I went ahead and just turned the volume down porque ya casi ya no aguantaba. But we have the captions on for folks that really need to know what he said.
Yeah.
Can we give a shout out to our top commenters like
Yes.
Kelly Ortiz, Edwin Lopez? ¿Quién más? We had a bunch of cool guys.
Luana,
Corina, T. Alvarez,
Corina.
Edith. Was here last time too. ¿Quién más? There's a bunch of badasses stayed with us the whole time.
Yes. So much fun watching with y'all.
Hopefully
Yeah,
it's the
this
last
was
one
fun.
we have to do this year.
I was like,
Yes. Let's hope.
so fun.
Yeah, all this, like, we need to just put our time into getting these mofos out.
Yeah, let's if that 27 days, I don't want to regret not putting in an extra hour or two here or there for
Absolutely.
Can you share again, Jonathan, what you were saying earlier, just in case folks missed it, about like you were phone picking earlier today, right? And talking to Latino voters, and like just share what your experience was like and why it's important that we sign up at FUERATRUMP.com for these phone banking shifts and text banking shifts and knocking on doors.
Yeah, no, I was making calls earlier today for our people, our gente in Florida, and in Spanish, and it was just way too equal, for the margins are just so close, even in our community of folks that support Trump still, or are like somehow undecided. And so that's just, it was hard to hear that from so many folks. But at the same time, I think we can still move our folks and we can still win this by a wide margin, yes, in our community as well. So we got to make calls. We got to, I think I love that Mi Gente is actually going to knock on some doors, because I think that is the way you really convince folks, is being right in front of them, having a conversation. They can't just turn the phone call off. So I think that's a really good tool in our toolbox to be on the doors as well, safely at a social distance. So Fuera Trump, go sign up if you're interested for the Caravana work that's coming up in Arizona and Florida. FueraTrump.com/caravan. And or make calls with us, y'all. Make calls. The dialer's on. We need folks on those calls as well. The more folks on, the more calls it makes. So it really matters for us all to get.
Are we done yet? Is this shit still on? Fuck. How much more? It's bedtime. Vámonos a dormir, chingao.
It is 10:30. A lot of undecided voters. We can change their hearts, and we can tell people it's worth it to vote in this election.
So, is there overtime in this shit? Is there extra points? How do they win? Is it a tie? ¿Qué pasa? I hope there's no extra overtime.
Polar opposites on the Supreme Court of the United States. One very liberal, one very conservative.
Oh, we have a private chat. ¿Qué dice?
Surpassing was the two of them.
Eso.
Were the very closest of friends.
Sí, tengo sueño. I'm old. I'm viejito. The doggy might go to bed, but if y'all young folk want to keep it up, está bueno. So on behalf of Perrito, buenas noches. Woof, woof. Wow, wow.
That's what
Bye.
Thanks, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to go to FueraTrump.com. Thanks so much to everyone who joined us. Big thanks to Jonathan and Vanessa and Hero for staying on camera, providing great commentary. Thanks so much for everybody who joined us in the comments. Go to FueraTrump and sign up, and get your gente to sign up too. Make sure all your folks are registered and that they're all signing up to vote early, and they get out there and they vote Fuera Trump.
Senator Harris,
Fuera Trump. Fuera Trump. Fuera Trump.
Fuera Trump. Buenas noches. Bye. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, y'all. Bye.